This week we're looking at the classic action movie Face Punch! Pew pew punch faces! I wish.
There were some movies, terrible movies, movies so awful no one would touch. Then came a Matthew, sad little Matthew. Matthew decided these movies to watch. For every good movie, there's at least 10 bad. Matthew gonna drag himself through the crap to find the worst ones there are to be had.
Today's episode, Blood Red Moon. Hello, Mike X Eric shippers. I am called Matt, and today we're looking at one of the onslaught of Twilight ripoffs that came out after the first movie's success. And of all of those ripoffs, this one has to be one of the cheapest. Blood Red Moon comes to us from Midnight Releasing, and it's astounding I've been doing this long without mentioning them. Midnight Releasing is like the discount version of the Asylum, somehow. Brett Kelly directs most of these movies, and he's been involved in some doozies. Avenging Force, Iron Soldier, and Spyfall? He didn't even try with that one. And writer Kevin J. Lindenmuth worked on a Men in Black ripoff called Alien Agenda Under the Skin? This guy's so bad he's ripping off movies 15 years before they come out. Too bad he couldn't do that here, as Blood Red Moon came out in 2010, just 2 years after Twilight. Come on, Brett, you gotta be quicker than that. The cast consists mostly of first-time actors who haven't done much else. There is Marc Cornier, who's popular among these Midnight Releasing movies, but that's about it. If you like Twilight, you'll love Blood Red Moon. Come on, guys, you can't just say what you're ripping off. I've looked up these Gates of Gore people before, and it turns out they're an independent blogspot blog. But of course, I don't have any evidence of that, because between the time I looked it up and now, that blog seems to have been deleted. But you know, even when it was running, I couldn't find their review of Blood Red Moon. So they quoted a Blogspot blog that might not even have reviewed this movie, and it wouldn't even be the biggest lie on the box. This guy's not in the movie. This guy is a stock photo. I know he is because he shows up on the cover of this DVD box set, which does not feature Blood Red Moon. But this is for mature audiences. Yeah, 17 and up is a little too old considering your target audience is tween girls. Also, this movie is about as mature as my sense of humor. So, let's take a look at Blood Red Moon. I don't know, that's more of a salmon moon than a blood red. And your phone isn't messing up. This film from 2010 does in fact look this shitty. What is this, 240p? Most people had HD TVs by 2010. We open on someone far smarter than me, this guy getting drunk before the movie even starts. Did that man just get killed by a cow? The credits give us some very Twilight-looking trees. They even got the overly blue-white balance right. So of course, none of the rest of this movie looks like this. Also, the music is so droning and it goes on forever. Hey lady, you want to get out of the middle of the street?
Is the Addams family in town?
How about we sell you a ticket next time, Morticia?
Why? 'Cause she's wearing black? I mean, I guess it's better than...
Nice ride.
Thanks.
This is Bella. Megan. Bella. Who meets Melissa and...
Megan, right? Could be. I'm Melissa. Right.
They also captured Twilight's awkwardness quite well. But she's being watched by... young Adam Sandler? And he's way creepier than Edward, let me tell ya. Bella, didn't you just say you had biology?
So, you going to first hour biology? Yeah.
Why did you go to the park? So your mom can give you lunch? This movie just started and already the timeline of events doesn't make sense. I guess it's so she can see the drunk farmer talking to the police. You can tell he's the police because they put a patch on a blue dress shirt. And it's almost a new moon, even though last night it was a full moon. The next day, everyone's wearing the exact same clothes. And it's definitely the next day because we saw Bella go to bed right before this. Unless this also happened before biology. Anyway, Bella asks about Edward. Edward. The strange outsider kid.
You seem to know a lot about him. Are you interested?
Bella, you can do so much better. This guy looks like he'd write you into his self-insert Twilight fanfic.
If eyes had teeth, you'd be shredded.
Well, what the hell?
Stupid I can handle. Stupid is easy to make fun of. This is awkward. Awkwardness is hard to make fun of. I just have to show you the clips and let you experience how uncomfortable this is to watch.
Oh, I feel like I should be charging you something.
What?
For staring at me for the past 5 minutes.
Oh, you're making a joke.
If I was making a joke, you'd be laughing.
But you were making a joke. He just didn't get it.
We're going for lunch. Did you want to join us?
What the heck? You're gonna call a guy out for being creepy right to his face and then invite him to join you for lunch? And by lunch, I guess she just meant soda.
I had a big breakfast.
Oh, well, that explains it. And the bully throws a rock or something at Bella. Kid, how old are you? Edward gets all angry at the bully and starts a slap fight, but luckily his teacher steps in to break it up and gives them both detention.
That was weird.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it still is, actually. And immediately after, she gives Bella and Mallory detention because Bella did a mean drawing? What did Mallory do? They act like Bella was this huge troublemaker at her old school, but she never really acts that way in this movie. She's not some hard-edged rebel girl, she's just a normal kind of outsider girl. Anyway, we get one brief after-school scene, yet again indicating this takes place the next day, but what do you know? Everyone's still wearing the same clothes. What are you, cartoon characters? They never change, by the way. Bella has some pajamas, but other than that, they wear the same clothes the whole movie. Why? Saving money would be the obvious answer, but they're just wearing street clothes. Surely you could just ask the actors to show up in something casual to film in. The only other thing I could think of is for continuity's sake. The pacing in this movie's a little awkward. Most scenes feel like they could be put anywhere. So maybe they kept the costumes the same so they could play around with the order of the scenes in editing without having to worry about characters constantly changing outfits. Or maybe it's a thematic choice highlighting the monotony of our public school system and life in general. Day in and day out, the same thing over and over until one day bleeds into the next. Did I wear this yesterday? Does it even matter? I can't tell what's happened today from what's happened last week. Every day is the same. But it was probably just budget.
Aha! So that's why you drew the picture.
Maddie, you were right there when he got detention. You know why she wanted detention. Maddie? Mallory? I know I do a joke where I call characters the wrong names, but I genuinely forgot this character's name, and it's not worth it to look it up.
Thought my dad was gonna have an embolism or something.
A what now? Oh, she means a heart attack. Just say a heart attack. I think this guy's supposed to be acting drunk, but he's more like that jokey fake drunk people who have never actually been drunk do.
Hey! You're still in my car!
And then Edward kills him. Okay, I don't know who killed him, but it was probably Edward. Unrelated, if a vampire drinks a drunk guy's blood, does the vampire get drunk? Because the alcohol is in your bloodstream.
He cost me a week of football practice.
1 day of detention cost you a week of football practice. Follow up, this guy's a jock? This guy. And then, even though people think there's a wild animal running around, Bella goes for a walk in the woods, when Edward shows up in the creepiest way possible. I didn't add that. The movie just knows he's a creep.
You're not from around here.
Edward, you met her. You had lunch 2 days ago.
Why'd you move here?
I didn't have a lot of choice. My mom's working over at the army base, and I'm not exactly making enough income to move away.
You know, they say sarcasm is a form of anger.
Hey, fuck you, dude. You asked her a dumb question and she gave you a straight answer. How do I like this guy less than the real Edward? Interesting how they have shots of the iconic trees from Twilight, but we never see anyone from this movie in front of them.
So, I'm thinking you're like a stalker or something.
Yeah, he hasn't been subtle about it.
I thought you lived on the other side of town.
Wait, how do you know where he lives? Double stalkers in this movie. He walks her home and then,
You're not going to invite me in?
Look, man, I know this is probably some vampire thing, but that is a very weird and pushy thing to ask. And Bella dreams Edward is a vampire. Why? He's done nothing to indicate that that's the case. And just so we don't stray too far from Twilight, Edward gives Bella the old, "We shouldn't be around each other even though it's my fault we were in the first place." That night a gardener dies. Still no indication of who might be killing them, not even a hint. And this movie's almost half over. Haha, we're talking.
Oh, what do people do around here for fun?
Swinging on the playground, obviously.
Can't figure out what the deal is with him. It's like, 1 minute he wants to ask me out, and the next he doesn't even want to talk to me.
He's a stalker. Call the cops.
Do you want to grab a bite to eat?
Haha, turns out you're the bite to eat. Nighttime, guess that bite to eat went well because we're not gonna see it. And now it's a blue moon? We're getting further and further from a blood red moon. And Bella's looking something up on her laptop that is clearly not turned on because there is no light coming from it.
Who am I kidding? I know exactly what he is.
No, you don't. You had a dream where he was a vampire. That's the only evidence you have. Unless you just mean creepy. 'Cause yeah, he's that. Did I mention the audio balancing is really bad in this movie? So she accuses him of dating the cheerleader and he just reveals he's a vampire.
Come on. I want to show you something in the forest.
Aw, no piggyback ride? Yeah, this is where the movie goes full Twilight with the field and the revealing vampire secrets. But, it's still got stuff I wasn't prepared for.
Well, it's something that's spread through, intimacy.
Seriously? Wow. Vampirism is an STD.
Vampire STDs. Why? Why? Look, I could see this working in a vampirism as allegory for STD, but that's clearly not what's happening. It all ties to a bigger, grosser theme of the movie. Anyway, Edward comes home for dinner, but Bella comes up with some excuse about a test to get away from her mom.
I'm serious about wanting to study for that test tomorrow.
Do you want to go for a walk?
Sure.
Oh, so you didn't really want to study. Okay. And you've heard of day for night, but how about day for blue? Just bring the exposure down. I mean, I'd still know it wasn't night, but it'd be a little more convincing. Look, I can do it. This scene happens.
Oh, it's showtime, TJ. It's showtime.
I don't have any commentary, I just wanted you to know that's in the movie.
Hey, why are you stopping?
I think someone's watching us.
Oh yeah? That someone's gonna get their ass kicked.
Oh shit, the characters have broken the fourth wall and they're coming for me. And I think Edward just kills them. Although that might not be Edward since he's wearing a different shirt. Ah, so that's why they always wear the same clothes, for foreshadowing. Yeah, it wasn't him. It was another older vampire who's affected by the blood red moon.
The moon has an odd effect on some really old vampires.
So you're basically saying that he's a vampire who's turning into a werewolf.
Werewolves don't exist.
Great, there goes your shot at a sequel. You might joke that this was never going to get a sequel, but you'd be surprised. These low-budget productions can just keep cranking them out. And the evil killer vampire killed the mean teacher. She was a vampire too? That was introduced one scene before she died? Yeah, this pulls the Twilight card of introducing conflict in the last 20 minutes, but this movie's so short the last 20 minutes is almost half the movie. And Sheriff Iron-On Patch is the killer. Don't know why he looked like Edward in this one scene. Can he shapeshift? One thing he can do is add reverb to his voice. So scary! He barely ties Bella to a tree. She could get out of that really easily. And Edward shows up for the lamest fight and rips out the sheriff's heart. Hey Ed boy, it's gonna be really hard to prove you're not a murderer and the sheriff is when you murder him! And that crazy drunk guy shows up and shoots Edward. 'Cause I guess shotguns kill vampires in this universe. The end. I would like to propose a theory about this movie. Now, there's some evidence to say this isn't the case, but I think it makes a lot more sense than someone just deciding to make this movie. This kid had a crush on this girl. She wants to be an actress and is a big Twilight fan, and he goes, I have a movie that's just like Twilight, and you can be in it. And that's why he's always creepy and awkward, yet she still likes him. And why vampirism is an STD. So he can fuck her and imply he slept with his hot teacher. Probably not what happened, but it's funnier to think of it that way. And that's Blood Red Moon. It's pretty funny, but not as funny as the real Twilight. This is my bread and butter. No budget, obvious ripoff, dumb movie. It's everything I want from a Twilight tangent movie, and I couldn't be more happy. It's barely an hour as compared to the Twilight films, which are 2.5 hours. So if you're looking for a quick sit for a bad movie night, look no further. And if you're looking to get a video done quick because your New Moon review took entirely too long to make, it's good for that too. If you liked this video, you might want to check out my Bloods vs. Wolves review. And until next time, I'm Matt, and this is Matt's Fun Time Bad Movie Show.
The water? I should get going. There's all that algebra homework due tomorrow, right? Miss Reese, it was good meeting Megan's mother.
Well, I guess you better get cracking on that math homework, huh? Great.
So with great performances, well-shot action, and a deep look into the human psyche, I give Face Punch a 10 out of 10.